Hey guys, welcome back to another WoW Weekly with Myst. I hope everyone's doing great. And this week is a pretty heavy week in WoW, so there is a lot going on. For starters, Brewfest started up last week. It's still going. It will continue all the way till October 6th. This past week, I laid out videos for everything having to do with Brewfest, even going back to some of the oldest achievements. So the Brewfest playlist is on my channel. I'll keep it up all the way till the end of Brewfest, so definitely take a look at the playlist and see if you missed anything. Speaking of achievements, there was a new achievement for 2023 this year. It's called Around on the House. It is really good if you're trying to get some currency. It gets you 120 currency just by doing that achievement. There's also a couple of new items on the vendor, which is the Orange Brewfest Bulwark Shield that costs 200 currency. There is supposed to also be a green Brewfest Bulwark. It wasn't on the vendor, and my guess is since one of the Brewfest items was on the trading post for September because it rolled into the beginning of Brewfest. And since Brewfest doesn't technically end till October 6th, my guess is the green bulwark will be on October's trading post since it still kind of rolls in together, right? So definitely just check the trading post next week because we're almost at that point. There's also this barrel toy that you can get, also costs 200 currency. And then the big one would be the Proto Drake customization, which is Brewfest armor. I was lucky enough to loot that during this past week. And so I can confirm that it does in fact come from the keg-shaped treasure chest. So that's basically that for Brewfest. Not much else to say. Those are the new things going on. There's a couple of new dailies in Valdrakken as well. So starting today is Harvest Festival. Harvest Festival, at the time of doing this, there hasn't been really anything mentioned that's new with Harvest Festival. But out of all of, these kind of world events we have, I think Harvest Festival needs a revamp the most out of all of them because there's really nothing to do during Harvest Festival. But it would be nice to see some sort of revamp on Harvest Festival, give it more meaning. A lot of people just ignore it. So yeah, I really think this one deserves a revamp. I feel like a lot of people confuse Harvest Festival with pilgrims, and I, once upon a time, was guilty with that one too. I would go there looking for the tables and the tables of food and So it really is kind of useless, Definitely, there's a couple of quests you can do, but once you've done them, you don't need to do them more than once. So I would really like to see something added. There are some cool things you can get, though. There's 4 different types of spirit shards. So these spirit shards can alter your character. There's 4 different colors: purple, green, blue, and red. And I really enjoy them. I have a lot of the purple and red ones, and they don't vanish, so you will still hold on to them after the event is over. And each one of them has a 5-minute cooldown. And it will last an hour, and it even applies to your mount. So with the blue one, a popular thing that people do is hop on like celestial type mounts and use the blue one with that kind of mount. And there is actually some tables of food. They're just not like the ones there at Pilgrim, right? But yeah. So if you're Horde, Ogrimmar is where you want to go, and if you're Alliance, Ironforge. So very similar to the Brewfest, and yeah, that's basically all there is to say on the Harvest Festival. It lasts a week, so it will end on October 2nd. Also, another thing that will be going on is Turbulent Timeways. So let's talk about both Time Walking and Turbulent together, because they kind of go together. So for starters, this week will be Time Walking Kata. Just going to put a little reminder out there. I do have the video for the Wishwing pet. Time Walking Kata is one that you need for that, because you need Firelands. And yeah, so I'll leave the video at the end of this one if you're interested in checking it out, or maybe you don't know what the Wishwing pad is. And yeah, so this week will be a great week for you to get that done. So Turbulent Timeways is a 6-week event. So basically that means we're going to have back-to-back time walking every week for 6 weeks. They're going to cycle through, all the different expansions. And what makes it a Turbulent Timeways event is that you're going to be able to get a piece of heroic Avarice loot every week, right? And so that item level is from 428 to the possibility of 437. 437s if you were to get like the loot that would come off of the last couple of bosses, right? That's why it varies, but minimum 428, maximum 437. So you could get some pretty good loot if you're trying to catch up your characters. And there's also an achievement to do this. So here's the achievement right here. So you will want to take part of these events if you're an achievement farmer. Okay, so my mistake, guys. I've been saying 6 weeks. It's actually 5 weeks, as you can see in the achievement there. So I just double checked to see which one we're going to be skipping, and it's WoD that will not be part of this. So week 1 will be Kata, week 2 is BC, so they clearly are not going in order. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but they do go, when it comes to the time walking, they do, for years, they were going in order where it'd be like BC, Wrath, Kata, yeah. But this one is not in order. It is going to be week 1 Kata, week 2 BC, week 3 will be Legion, week 4 is Myst Pandaria, and then week 5 will be Wrath. So WoD will not be in the list. I said 6 weeks because that's what the last one was, but I guess for the achievement, maybe they just decided on 5 weeks, or they just wanted it over by October 30th. So this will run from September 26th to October 30th. As for the achievement, the reason to do this achievement is that there is actually a reward on it. It's the Sandy Shale Wing mount. So there is more than just being an achievement farmer here. If you're a mount farmer, you're going to want to go after this. Also worth noting that completing consecutive time walking dungeons gets you the Distilled Knowledge of Timeways buff. So that's what this is on screen here. And your experience will increase. As you can see, it says upon reaching 4 applications, transforms to Mastery of Timeways, increasing the effect to 30%. And yeah, so the more you do, like it stacks up 5 times, so you can, get that increase. And so this will serve as a good week for leveling alts if you wanted to do that. Because you'll have that experience gain from monster kills and quest completions. So that's everything to say on the time walking and the Turbulent Timeways. We also have PvP Brawl, which will be a Warsong Scramble, and then Darkmoon Fair will start up on Sunday. Okay, so on to some news. So some 10.2 stuff for you guys. I thought we'd start with mounts. So this right here is the Shadow Dusk Dream Saber. You get this from the Glory of the Dream Raider achievement. Okay, so there's a few green mounts here. At first glance, they kind of reminded me of my Fated mount, the Slime Cat, because they kind of look like slime, you know? Yeah. I don't know if they are gonna be like that. I think they're just gonna be green mounts. Yeah. But that was what came to mind for me. They're not bad looking. I personally like mounts that have multiple colors in them, you know, like the saddles, you know, green, and then the mounts, you know, black, or, you know, whatever, has some red tints on it, you know, like I like a lot of different colors in my mounts, so I probably wouldn't roll with these mounts too much just because they're one single color. But nonetheless, there'll be a few free mounts added to the mount collection. And it looks like they're going to be easy to obtain. It does say that it's going to be obtained by Eliana, who is over at the Central Encampment at Amir Drassel. And there's a currency called Dream Infusion. And yeah, that's what you buy it. It does say you'll need to be renowned 5 with the Dream Wardens, but, you know, assuming they're going on the same, like, timing of gaining renown, 5 would be super easy. So the next thing I wanted to mention is the return of Omni tokens. So the Flame Warped Curio is going to be an item coming into Dragonflight Season 3. So this will allow you to buy a tier piece of your choice. And they're thinking it's going to drop from Ferric, but that's not confirmed right now. There's been some new style of tabards. So these are them here. Because of the way they are looking and how many of them they are, it's being speculated that these may be for the guild, which could imply more guild options. There's also this that was data mined. This is the white gold tab of the Tears Guard. And yeah, I love this one. Yeah, I'm definitely a collector of tabards. I love collecting them. And this is definitely one that is worth collecting for sure. It's definitely similar to Tab of the Lightbringer if you have that one. Just different colors, but very similar. And then the last thing I wanted to show off for this episode is this new back piece. So this is a Terrarium back piece, and it looks awesome. I really like this one, and I love that they're bringing out more back pieces that aren't cloaks. You know, like backpacks and, you know, like, yeah, there's just so many different options for a back piece now that isn't just a regular cloak. So I really like that. And these look so cool. And there's even animation with it. It'll be facing, you know, whoever's behind you, and they'll see this, right? So that's very cool. Okay, so that's basically all I have for retail. Couple of things for Classic. We did get a date for the launch of the Icecrown Citadel over in Wrath of the Lich King Classic, and that date is October 12th. So that is coming soon. So that will have the new dungeons Forge of Souls, Pit of Sauron, and Halls of Reflection. And it's going to bring Random Dungeon Finder. There will be some new Titan Rune dungeons, some new collection, and all that. And then the other thing I wanted to mention for Classic has to do with Classic Hardcore. And it's that a few days ago, Blizzard did send out a warning message to players about a Oro bug that's sitting on hardcore. So Oro is a boss that's in AQ, Temple of AQ. And here in the blue post, it says, the known issues post above was just updated with 2 new issues related to Oro. We wanted to highlight specifically here to raise awareness of these issues for groups on hardcore realms attempting this boss. One of these bugs has a very high likelihood to cause a raid wipe. So Oro may sometimes fail to re-engage the raid after a wipe. And then also, he may spawn an additional copy of himself after coming out of the submerge phase. So, yeah, maybe just avoid that raid. Yeah. There isn't an update yet saying it's been fixed, so this is still an issue at the time of me mentioning this. And I will, if an update happens, I'll let you know in the next week of WoW Weekly. But yeah, it looks like they're still trying to fix it. So be careful if you are raiding on hardcore. Okay, so what's up with me? What have I been doing? This week was pretty productive, actually. We did a lot of streams because I was farming the customization, and it took quite a few attempts. I would say roughly 60 attempts. I got the customization on day 4, my first character of the day. Yeah. And I was running, roughly 20 characters per day. So yeah. So I was pretty happy to get that. And so we are done farming that sucker. And I can confirm that it is account bound. So if you go on to another character, you can see it. So while I was farming the customization, I decided that, to fill in the void of the stream, because it doesn't take long to do a Brewfest dungeon on all the characters, right? So to fill in the stream, I decided to return back to leveling my undead priest that I had made for the heritage armor set. And so I completed that. She's not 70 as in completed like that, but I just needed her 50 to do the quest. And I still wasn't ready to end stream when she had 50, so I just kept going and I got her to 60. So she is Dragonflight ready. She's ready to go do that quest. So that'll probably be something you'll see on the channel coming up shortly. And so I was pretty happy about that.
I hope you enjoyed your time living in the past.
Yeah, I know. I know, you're right there. The minute the 60 happens, I know, Kuromi. And I'm very much like, when I level, I pretty much only like to do classic dungeons. And unfortunately, since you gotta put it Chromie to Kata to get classic dungeons, and I don't really like Kata, so I just like chill in the city. So what I chose to do, since I was on a horde character, which I'm not usually on, I decided to return back to farming Old Crafty. Old Crafty is something that I used to get my druid into Ogrimmar and hide out and fucking fish up Old Crafty. But I would always be moving her back and forth because she's the main character, right? So like something new would happen and I'd be like, okay, hearthing out. And she always was like the worst one. Like I never should have farmed it on her because I always was moving her out, and like I should have always farmed it on a character that could stick around there, It could still be an alliance, but I always wanted it to be her because like I like the achievement points to be on my druid. for guild purposes, because I know some of you guys are going to be like, well, achievements are account bound. In my world, they aren't. Because when it comes to guild number, it only tracks what that character is earned. But anyway, I've caught Old Crafty while I was sitting in waiting for a queue. So we can thank the fact that I accidentally queued Kata dungeons once, because what happened is I had logged out to help a guildie on the Alliance server with something, and then I came back and I just instantly queued like I was all night for the classic, forgetting that the top one is Kata, and it put me into Throne of the Tides, and I instantly left, took the deserter, and so that bought me like 30 minutes of fishing, right? I think if it hadn't been for that, we wouldn't have caught it, because I had fast queues all night, right? Like, for the most part, I was only able to like fish 3 fish before the queue would pop and I'd be in a dungeon. So that was very awesome. Yeah. So I feel like I accomplished, Old Crafty wasn't really part of the equation, but I just sort of made it part of the equation while I was waiting in queues. And just in case anyone's curious, I've had Iron Jaw for a while, so yeah, we don't have to farm that one. Back when because I got Iron Jaw early game, yeah, and back then was around the time I was also farming Old Crafty, yeah, but like I said, it was rough because it was my Alliance Druid that would sneak in Ogremar, and I could never really keep her there for long. She'd hearth back, and then it would be a long adventure to come back, and yeah, that's kind of what held that off. Honestly, I should have always just farmed it on a Horde character. Like, no need to make things more difficult than you have to, right? But in my defense, back then, achievements were not account bound. And that's basically it, since we are showing the cats. Okay, so today does mark kind of a special day. It is my baby girl's birthday, so that is the black cat, Mystic. And she is technically a senior today. Yeah. I'm not going to tell her that, but she is technically a senior. She turns 11. I get a little sadder every time her birthday shows up, I've noticed, because like the average cat is like 12 to 15 years, and I just want her to live forever, Some cats do live till like 20. But, I just want her to live forever. She is very healthy. So, she's, there's no health issues at the moment. Like, there's no reason to worry. But I'm just, I just love her so much that, I just wish I could freeze her age, Yeah. If I had it my way, she would go when I go, yeah. But she is getting older, and I've done a good job over the past 11 years keeping her pretty healthy, and yeah. So, but now that she is kind of hitting senior age, I think I'm gonna take her back in to the vet. I gotta get her claws clipped anyway. They're getting pretty sharp. And I'm just gonna see if I need to do anything, if we still, I've never, like, she's the oldest cat I've ever had, right? So I've never had to take care of like an older cat. So yeah, but yeah, so my baby girl growing up. Yep. Anyway, just thought I'd add that in, since it's her birthday today. And yeah, I'll probably have, I was thinking of doing a little video for her. I have multiple channels, guys. If you ever are interested in some of my other content I do, I keep that kind of stuff off of this channel because I know for the most part you guys just want WoW or gaming related stuff. But definitely check out my other channels. Life with Myst is where you would probably find cat stuff. That's where I throw kind of everything. And yeah, so my plan is to throw a video up there, today, but we'll see how busy I get. But sometime this week at least, there'll be a video of, her birth story and all that. That's what I was thinking of doing, a little birth story video of Mystic. Yeah, because I've had her. It's a bit of a story, which is why I want to do that video, but I've had her from day one. I was right there when she was born, yeah, I donated my beautiful blanket to those kitty cats. But yeah, her mother is my best friend's cat. So yeah, and there's a story with her as well, which I'll probably tell in that video. But anyway, dragging out the gaming video. So that is it. That is pretty much everything I accomplished this week, on top of, doing a lot of videos. So I got a lot of editing to do this week. I'll still have some streams for you guys this week, but it might be a little less than last week's, just because I need to catch up on some stuff. But I hope you enjoyed. Have fun in WoW and have fun doing all the time walking and all that. Let me know if you accomplished anything, super cool this week. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.